Calling all stations, calling all stations. This is N4BWR. My name is Blake, and I'll be your net control station this evening for the Carroll County ARES MCOM net. This net meets every Thursday night at 8 p.m. local time on the W4FWD repeater on 146.640 MHz with a negative offset and a 131.8 Hz subaudible tone. The purpose of this net is to provide training and information as it relates to emergency communication and providing communication assistance to various local, state, and/or national public service agencies in the event of an actual emergency. Anyone not wishing to participate in this net is asked to please keep the frequency clear for net operations. However, all amateur radio operators are welcome to participate in this net. You do not have to be a member of ARES or WGARS to participate in this net. This is a directed net, so please direct all traffic through net control or a designated station. Is there a station on frequency willing to act as alternate net operator in the event that the station becomes disabled? Okay.
WX4BK, I'll take it, Blake.
Alright, WX4BK, I've got you down as alternate net operator and I've got you checked in. If you wish to pass emergency or priority traffic during the net, please say the word break twice and the frequency will be turned over to you for the duration of the emergency. I'll now stand by for anyone with emergency or priority traffic. Nothing heard. NTS formatted messages may also be initiated or passed on this net. If there are any stations wishing to list traffic for the net, please call now. Nothing heard. When checking into this net, say "this is" and unkey the mic to be sure that you're not doubling with anyone. If you do not hear anyone else talking, proceed to give your call sign first phonetically and then normally, along with your name, location, and if you have any comments, announcements, or traffic for the net. At this time, I'll take check-ins from any mobile or portable stations. All mobile or portable stations, please call now.
This is. This is Delta 8, Lima, Quebec Tango, WD8LQT Mobile, John and Bremen. This is Kilo X-Ray 4 Delta Victor, that's KX4DV, Mobile and Andrew, Mobile and Bremen. This is KJ4SAD, Kilo Juliet 4, Sierra Alpha Delta, Curtis Carrollton, over at walkie-talkie. This is Kilo India 4 Charlie Sierra, KI4CS, mobile out of Carrollton, heading to Roofville. This is KI4YOE, Kilo India 4 Yankee Oscar Echo. Name is Scott, Peachtree City, Georgia. No traffic.
Alright, let me stop and recognize WD8LQT, John, Mobile in Bremen, KX4DV, Andrew, Mobile in Bremen, KJ4SAD, Curtis in Carrollton, Portable, KI4CS, Charlie, Mobile, and KI4YOE, Scott in Peachtree City. Are there any other mobile or portable stations? Please call now.
This is Whiskey 4, Papa Romeo Sierra, W4 PRS on Highway 27.
All right, W4PRS, can you come back with your name, please?
Your name is Roddy, R-O-D-D-I-E Stewart. I'm from Florence, Alabama. A visitor to the net tonight.
All right, I've got you checked in, W4PRS. Welcome to the net. Any other mobile or portable stations, please call now.
This is Kilo Victor 4 Tango Echo KV4TE. Jason in Villarica Portable, or mobile rather, sorry.
All right, I've got KV4TE, Jason Mobile. Let's move on to any stations whose prefix begins with the letters A as in Alpha, N as in November, or W as in Whiskey. Please call now.
This is November 4 Victor Alpha Whiskey, N4 VAW, Valerie and Temple.
This is Alpha India 4 Romeo Tango, AI4RT John in Peachtree City. Good evening. This is
N4CIP.
November 4 Charlie India Papa. And 4
Scott and Douglas.
Scott, you're Douglasville with no comment tonight. Good evening all.
This is N4BWR. Let me stop and recognize N4VAW, Valerie and Temple, AI4RT, John in Peachtree City, and N4CIP, Scott in Douglasville. After that, we had somebody you're getting into the repeater and keying up, but no audio. Try it again, or any other stations, Alpha November or Whiskey. Please call now. All right, we'll move on to the kilo stations. Any K is in kilo stations. Please call now.
This is Kilo 4 Oscar Hotel Foxtrot, KK4 OHF, Marshall in Villarica. This is Kilo Oscar 4 Bravo Victor Bravo. That's KO4 BVB Tony in Carroll. This is Kilo November 4 Oscar C Oscar. So line for Alabama, no traffic. This is Kilo Echo 4 Oscar Bravo Echo. KE4 BE Mike in Carrollton with no traffic. Over. This is Kilo 4 Alpha Charlie Kilo, K4ACK Greg in Noonan short time. This is Kilo Oscar 4 Delta Kilo Sierra, KO4 DKS Wayne and Brayton. This is Kilo Echo 4 Whiskey Romeo November, KE4 WRN Chris in Noonan short time. This is Kilo Echo 4 November Romeo Quebec, KE4 NRQ Russell and Villarica.
This is
K4ODR.
Kilo
This is KM4 WQC Kilo Mike 4 Whiskey Quebec Charlie, Matt and Lowell.
All right, lots of kilos. Let me recognize KK4OHF, Marshall and Villa Rica, KO4BVB, Tony in Carrollton, KN4OSO, Philip in Lineville, Alabama, KE4OBE, Mike in Carrollton, K4ACK, Greg in Noonan, KO4DKS, Wayne in Bremen, KE4WRN, Chris in Noonan, KE4NRQ, Russell in Villa Rica, KE4ODR, Linda in Villa Rica, and KM4WQC, Matt in Lowell. Are there any stations, any prefix wishing to check in? Please call now. Alright, we'll now move on to the announcements portion of the net. Anyone with announcements, please call now. Alright, hearing nothing, we'll move on to the training portion of the net. WX4BK, the net is yours.
Thank you, Blake. Just want to kind of do a quick look back. Most folks probably were on the Monday night net, but if you weren't, the balloon chase was a pretty big success. We got a little worried we may have accidentally created a floater balloon, but it made it up. God, now I'm trying to remember. Blake, what was the altitude it made it at?
Reported on APRS was 106,014 feet.
Thank you, sir. I have not pulled the chip yet. Oh, yeah, I did. I pulled the data file, but I can't remember what I came up with. I need to send you that data file. Anyway, tonight's, I want to thank everybody who participated. It was a fun event, and also an opportunity to pay our respects to Lonnie. We sent some of his ashes up as well, and I guess Blake said it made it to about 80,000 feet before the balloon that was containing his ashes burst. So, anyway, tonight's topic will be tabletop exercises. And I don't know how many of you have heard that term before. Those of you who've been around know that we run periodically, not as often the last couple of years, but simulated emergency tests. And these are organized events where we usually jump on the repeater, try passing traffic back and forth, maybe pass some to and from HF or D-Star nets to demonstrate our ability to actually function during a disaster. Tabletop exercises are sort of that, except on a much lighter scale and more of an opportunity to sort of flesh out ideas and plans. They're a very useful tool for developing the skills to operate in real-world situations, but it also gives the opportunity to identify maybe challenges or pitfalls in the plan that we may have in place by essentially thinking through the plan and throwing up simulated events around the table, or at least around a group, that they can kind of look at the situation and see if the plan addresses it. The main reason for doing a tabletop exercise versus, say, a full-fledged drill is that they're easier to plan and execute. Basically, you just need a place to meet, and truthfully, you probably don't even need the table. But trying to coordinate an actual drill often requires much more effort and planning, whereas a tabletop exercise could literally be sort of a called meeting with a general strategy on what type of event maybe we're going to simulate. Another advantage of a tabletop exercise is you can usually knock those out in an hour or so, which means that they'll run much shorter than a typical drill. So you can take a morning and have a quick tabletop exercise and still have some of the day left to do other things, which is obviously a benefit for gee, we don't have a plan for backup repeaters, or we don't have simplex frequencies, or do we move to HF, and all those sorts of things. So it's a great opportunity to help develop a plan as well as flesh out the fine details. So with that, I don't know if we will get a tabletop exercise in this year before our simulated emergency test. And it may be that what we'll do, if we don't get any guidance from the state on what our simulated emergency test is supposed to be, we may actually just do a tabletop exercise, giving us a chance to get together and perhaps sort of flesh out a deployment plan or a rapid response team plan or something like that. Anyway, that's it for tonight. Appreciate those who checked in. I'm going to hand it back over to Net Control for late check-ins before we go to the roundtable.
All right, thank you. This is N4BWR. Let's take a round of late check-ins. Any station, any prefix wishing to check in, please call now. All right, let's go back to WX4BK for the roundtable.
Anybody who has questions, comments, or anything else for the good of the cause, please call now. KE4OBE. KE4OBE, good evening, sir. Go ahead.
A question about WinLinks. I installed it on my Windows 10 computer, but I'm also going to install it on a Raspberry Pi. Problem is, when I go to the website to set it up and put in my call sign and picks me up whatever one of those fancy words to log in with, it won't let me. It says I'm already in the system, but I tell it to reset the password and send it to my email, and it doesn't send it to either of my email addresses. Ergo, something's wrong somewhere, and that's the first time I've tried to do WinLink.
Boy, that makes me wonder if either, you've had this call sign for a while. I guess there's always a chance somebody might have attempted to register that call sign. Have you tried loading up WinLink and doing a telnet session to send and receive mail over internet and see if it gives you anything?
Not really. I was just trying to figure out why it won't go past that. I guess that's why. But I can think of a little leprechaun that might have used it because I think without calling names, he was using my call sign once because I got some QSL cards about that same time, and I didn't even have an HF rig set up then.
Well, I guess there is that chance, and I would try doing a telnet session from WinLink and let it check into the WinLink server. Sometimes it may literally download a message to you at that point. WinLink's kind of an odd beast that way. And if that doesn't work, I'd say, fire an email off to me, and this may, if someone's already set up an account on there, it's probably going to require an extra step to get that reset. Blake, you got any insights into that I haven't uttered? And I don't think Clay's checked in this evening. He'd probably be the other one that might have some guidance for us.
This is N4BWR. The only issue I see with your little thing for him to try is that I think it's going to need to put in a password in WinLink to do the telnet connection. And I don't know. I guess he can maybe guess a password that he may have set it to. But yeah, if somebody else registered that setup, then he's not going to know the password, and I don't think it'll even get to a telnet session.
Thing is, Blake and everyone, I went to reset it, and of course it says it'll addresses, one at Gmail and one at Yahoo, and it went to neither one of those. So I think someone that might have used my call sign might have set something up in one of these far out email addresses that I don't know about, and it's probably went there. Sign K4OBE.
WX4BK Friday. Well, the reason I was saying try a telnet session with the blank password is just in case the system's really looking for that. I don't know what kind of message it gives you if you've already been issued an ID, but you have never actually checked in with WinLink. Yeah, I don't know what kind of message it throws out. So the idea of doing a telnet session with no password was just to see if that first one drops an email to you. Seems like it'll do something like that on the very first connection. I could be wrong, but give it a whirl anyway, Mike, and then fire an email, and we'll chase this to ground offline. You might have to have them delete the old account or something like that if you can't get a handle on it. Anybody else? Questions, comments, or anything else for the good of the cause? Please call now. Alrighty, I guess that'll be a wrap. Blake, hand it back off to you. WX4BK, back to net.
Alright, this is N4BWR. Let's take another round check-ins before we wrap this up. Any station, any prefix wishing to check in, please call now.
This is Foxtrot 4, Delta Victor Whiskey, KS4, DVW, Joshua, over in Heflin, Alabama. Good evening to everyone on the deck.
Alright, I've got KF4DVW, Joshua and Heflin. Any other stations wishing to check in, please call now. Alright, KO4EMB, Ken, Mobile, and Waco. Anyone else, please call now. Alright, we'd like to thank Tim Jones and WGARS for the use of the W4FWD repeater. There were 25 stations, including myself. I will now close the session of the Carroll County ARES MCOMnet at 8:24 p.m. and turn the frequency back to normal amateur use. All stations may secure at this time. This is N4BWR, net control for the Carroll County ARES MCOMnet, and I'm clear.